Hey everyone, welcome to the second part of our lesson 6.1 video, calling this video 6.1b. The B might stand for bonus content. It's likely that if you are in a geometry CP class, you may not be asked to do this kind of work as required content. Although our honors students, you should definitely be prepared for questions of this nature on an assessment. So here we go. I'm on page 352 as we are considering the continuation of our notes here. In example 4, we are asked to use perpendicular bisectors in the design for this fountain. And notice Alonzo wants to install a fountain in his triangular garden. The question is, where should Alonzo place the fountain so that it is equidistant from the vertices? And those two words together as a reminder, equidistant from the vertices, means that we are locating the circumcenter. And so now we need to think about these lines that are in red on the diagram here as the perpendicular bisectors from an algebraic context. Let's see how we work through this. So if we found, first of all, the midpoint of the right-hand side of the triangle, which is going to be, and you should be doing this work in the sidebar as much as possible. Notice I'm doing the midpoint, but I'm also labeling what it's of that I'm calculating. So the midpoint of side QR is going to be, remember, the average of the x's and the average of the y's of those endpoints. So that comes out to be 4, 7. Now we need to know the slope of that side so that we can find the line perpendicular to it. The slope of side QR, notice, is a rise of -10 and a run of 8, or -5/4. So if we want to know this line right here, that is going to be the slope that is perpendicular to that, which is the opposite reciprocal, remember, or 4/5. Then, to find the equation of the perpendicular bisector there, remember that's going to go through the point that we found, which was 4, 7. Hard to see on the diagram there, I know. 4, 7. So through 4, 7 with a slope of that perpendicular 4/5 number, then that is going to be, with point slope form, y minus 7 equals 4/5 times x minus 4, using again just point slope form that we've used so many times. So that's one of our perpendicular bisectors. Now we're going to find on the other side, the left side of the triangle, we're going to start the process over. We're going to find the midpoint of PQ. And notice how this triangle is situated. That's going to come out as -4, 7, with again the average of the x's, the average of the y's. The slope of that side, notice it has the same rise over run dimensions just in the positive direction. So that's +5/4, which means the slope that's perpendicular to that runs at -4/5. And the equation of my perpendicular bisector is going to go through -4, 7 with a slope of -4/5. And that looks like y minus 7 equals -4/5 times x minus a -4, remember, so +4 in the point slope equation. Now notice both of these equations of lines are equal to the same expression y minus 7. And we want to find where they intersect for that point of concurrency of the perpendicular bisectors. Now, obviously, we know that this third perpendicular bisector goes right down the middle. And so we could use that as well, but just for some good extra algebra practice, we've used these two here. And so we can go back to set those equal to each other. So the 4/5 times x minus 4 is equal to the negative 4/5 times x plus 4. This is a substitution method, right? Since they're both equal to y minus 7, we can set them equal to each other. Now, in order to get rid of all of my fractions here, let's go ahead and multiply both sides by the reciprocal of this 4/5 or 5/4. And then everything will cancel out over on the left-hand side. We'll just be left with x minus 4. But notice what happens over here. My 5's cancel, but my 4's have a common factor of 4, but the negative 1 is still left over there. So that is negative outside of x plus 4. Distributing, we get negative x minus 4, and that x, well, first of all, 2x equals 0, but then x equals 0. And so the x coordinate of my point of concurrency should be 0. I hope that makes sense from the diagram because it's right on the y-axis. So the question is, how do we find y? Well, we're simply going to plug that into one of the equations. I'm going to choose this equation to plug it into the positive 4/5 slope. So 0 minus 4 is just negative 4 in that spot. That's going to turn into negative 16/5 or negative 3.2. And so my y is going to be equal to negative 3.2 plus 7, which comes out to be positive 3.8. If you look on the diagram, we are just shy of 4. So there is my intersection point, and there is my circumcenter, which is where we wanted to place the fountain to be equidistant from the corners or the vertices of the garden. And here is that process described in words, and there, of course, is my answer at the end. This is telling you here in your book that you could use dynamic geometry software to actually construct the perpendicular bisectors, but we are going to focus more on the algebra work. It's great practice. But you could always confirm that with the geometry software that we have used in the past called GeoGebra. We will be doing that in the future as well. All right, take a pause on the video here and see if we can find the circumcenter in this home improvement situation where we want to install a skylight and we want that center of the skylight to be equidistant from the vertices of the roof. Okay, everyone, this is the part of the video where you really want to check back on the answers to those checks that were assigned to you as you were watching. All right, same process as before. We're going to start by figuring out the midpoint of our side XY. So that's that point right there. That midpoint of XY is coming out to be 4.5, comma 5.5. And my midpoint of the other edge of my roof, which is YZ. Don't get that confused for the X label on the axis. Make sure you look at the capital letter next to the point. And that is going to be 9.5, 5.5. Again, just the average of the X's and the average of the Y's to create our midpoints. The slope of side XY is a rise over run of 9/5, and then the slope of YZ is negative 9/5, similar to what we had on our example 4. All right, let's go ahead and find the equations of my perpendicular bisector first that is going through my first midpoint of 4.5, 5.5 with the slope of positive 9/5. With point slope, you're going to get the following equation. And remember, we're starting on the side of XY to find the perpendicular bisector. So the opposite reciprocal there that we're going to use here is negative 5/9. And let's go ahead and finish this point slope equation. Great. Then if we want to work with the other side, YZ, the equation that we're looking at for the perpendicular bisector of that is going to go through my other midpoint that I found of 9.5, 5.5, and that slope is, oops, I said 9/5 before, didn't I? Catch that typo. Negative 5/9 is what we ended up using for the slope of the perpendicular. Down here, the slope of the perpendicular to YZ is going to end up in the same manner as before, as a positive of the value we just used, positive 5/9 this time. This is a little different from the last example. Make sure you're catching that my y minus 5.5 with 5/9 as the slope. The inside of this is not using the same 4.5 value, just the opposite. We have x minus 9.5 in this spot. So algebra from here on out with substitution is going to look slightly different. But if I go ahead and solve that with substitution, we're going to take the negative 5/9 x minus 4.5 and set it equal to the positive 5/9 of x minus 9.5 and multiplying by a fraction, the reciprocal there on both sides, 9/5. Notice what we're going to get as we did before. We have a leftover factor of -1 outside of that x minus 4.5. And over here, all of our factors divide out. Technically, you don't really need the parentheses there if you don't want them. Definitely need it over here though, so we remember to distribute. And if we add our like terms on each side, we get 14. And so our x is equal to 7. Remember to substitute that value in to find y. Doesn't matter which equation, I'm going to use the positive slope one. So this comes out to a negative 2.5, which is the same thing as negative 5/2. And that simplifies to negative 25 over 18. So if we add our 5.5 or 11 halves to that negative 25 eighteenths, then we need a common denominator there. So we'll multiply both the top and the bottom of that 11 halves, numerator, denominator, by 9. And that gives me negative 25 eighteenths plus 99 eighteenths, which simplifies to 74 eighteenths. And if we want to check what that comes out to be, it says round your answer to the nearest whole number if you go back and check the precision details of the check there. And so that would be roughly 4. If you want to get technical to the 10th as before, you can do 4.1. So my point of my circumcenter, where I should be placing the skylight, is at 7, 4, or 4.1. All right, let's see what we can do with some practice of these types of circumcenter problems.